Jessica, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We just had our first East Coast Charlotte meetup. We're here in Charlotte. How was the meetup for you last night and meeting other members of Rich Stylist?
It was great. It was definitely more than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It was exciting. You guys had food and champagne. You walked in, we had a red carpet.
Alex is like, I've been calling him Ryan Seacrest all night. He's like Mr. MC of the year.
Yeah. Yes. All the people I met, I was telling Alex today, everybody I met, it was so nice and refreshing to see the personalities that came across in the Rich Stylist group and how real and spot on everybody was.
Yeah.
Like there was no fakeness or anything weird. It was like, everyone was like, oh my gosh, like, how are you? It was like,
They're
you
like,
knew
I know
them.
your face from the group or from your Facebook profile, all these things.
It was cool. The music was great. The food was great. The share time, I loved it. That was great.
I did too. Everyone sharing like what the education, the community has done
how
for
they
them.
got there.
Yes.
Into Rich Stylist, and it was great.
Yeah, I found that very, very moving and very connecting.
Yes.
Because I feel like I know most of the stories, but to hear it vocalized, I'm like puddling in tears.
Yeah.
Jess and I both were, when we spoke, we were like, I'm getting emotional because it was, I don't know, it was just powerful to hear people.
Well, it's healing.
Yeah.
It's like a possibility to heal, like you say in the group, share what your wins, share your stuff going on, because it might help someone else. And like up to me speaking, I'm like almost crying, just hearing some people's, things that they're going through and what got them there and what made them decide to become part of, Rich Stylist. And then he asked me to share, and I was not planning on sharing what I shared. I was just planning on saying like, it was more than what I thought. You guys were awesome. Everything's great, and then I just was like, blah, blah, blah.
I get that. I don't even.
And then I was crying.
Same. It was so wonderful to hear from each person. Again, because you don't know everyone's, maybe a bit of the story, but you don't know all the reasons and their why and how the community, the education, the money, whatever it has been for them has like trickled down and impacted their life.
And you guys created, whether it's in the Facebook group or privately or in this event, you guys create such a safe space for people to share.
Thank you. I know it brings up so much emotion because, it's interesting because the name is Rich Stylist, but it's so much more than money.
Right. Absolutely.
And I felt like that was so interesting last night. Something else that Alex and I were talking about was people sharing like what had impacted them the most. Very little of it was the money.
Absolutely.
Although people have hit major financial milestones or thousands more dollars, double their income, triple their income, whatever it may be. But that was just a byproduct, or it was a cherry on top. It was like, this happened, but I made $10,000, $20,000, whatever it may be. But I now my kids are happier. My relationship is better. I went on an incredible trip with my mom.
Yeah.
I'm feeling better about myself. I'm feeling more confident. And that is where I'm like, the tears are coming.
Yeah, absolutely. The truth serum.
Yes. So let's talk about why Rich Stylist made sense for you. Where were you at before Rich Stylist and what sparked that?
So I found Rich Stylist. It may have been on Instagram. I'll be honest. I had followed, I'm pretty sure it was on Instagram or Facebook, one of the two. And I found you guys in like probably about a year ago, September, October. But it was holiday or something. I was so busy. I know what it was. I had just bought my cottage and turning it into an Airbnb and was like in the middle of setting everything up. And so kept postponing the interview. And I said, let's do it the first of the year. You know, I'd listened to you. I did not listen to your podcast, but I just listened to your posts and your ads and your Instagram things. And I was hesitant because I had had a coach prior, and it just didn't go well.
What was that like?
We just didn't connect. She was helping me on my life coaching side of my business.
Right.
And trying to launch my programs and things like that. And we got super far into it. The pandemic happened. Her and I were just disconnected. It felt like I was coaching her on stuff that didn't have to do with me. It was like her personal stuff.
And you're paying her.
Yeah, and I'm paying her. I paid $15,000 total.
Wow.
I ended up with a website I didn't know how to use. All my digital content was never loaded, and I was not able to create a flow to the digital content. So I just basically lost a year's worth of work and money working with that coach. So finding Rich Stylist, I did my due diligence in researching, like, who is this? Who is Ashley Diana? Who is Alex? What are they actually doing? You know, am I going to pay money and then get in again and get burned and not get the help that I desperately need in this point in my career? I had moved from a different state. The pandemic happened. I had come from a larger, more metropolitan, like, hip city, and I'm now in a family-friendly neighborhood that the money was there, but it didn't flow the same with hair.
Sure.
It just wasn't a necessity there. It wasn't, it was family-friendly versus an up-and-coming city like Nashville where everybody will, was worried about the way they looked and how they presented. And where I'm now, it's, yoga pants, ponytails, pushing baby carriages.
Sure.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's just different. Building your business there.
Different. And I have amazing clients now, but I needed help targeting my extension clients and how to do that in an environment that I wasn't familiar with. And so I met with Alex in January of this year, and he explained what you guys offered. And, you kind of sit a little closed off and hesitant because you're like, yeah, I've heard this before.
Sure, of course.
Okay, like, how are you going to prove this to me before I drop this money? And he didn't pressure me. He asked me a series of questions, what I wanted to work on, what I was looking for in a coach or in a program. And he gave me the space to make the decision on my own. And I took about a week after I spoke to him because I had some other stuff going on. I said, give me a minute. If I'm going to do this, I'd rather just pay up front than do payments, but I want to make sure that...
You need to go down forensic files.
And like, let me just do a little more digging. And I did. And I don't even know if I waited a whole week. I don't remember...
I don't recall.
Yeah, it might have been like 5 days, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Let's do it. Run my card.
Yeah.
And once I made my payment and you guys included me in the group, and I started with Ashley N and went into the group and saw what you guys were offering, like, I was blown away. By day 3, I'm like, holy crap, like, all of the videos that I've only watched in 3 days, are confirmation after confirmation after confirmation that I was in the right space. I was with the right people. I found my tribe. Yeah. Just like a group of people that were there, that were in the same place as I was at some point.
Yes.
And had the guidance and the knowledge and the know-how and ability to create the content that I needed in that moment. And I went from, I think, 3 months, I went from 3 regular extension clients, and I had others prior to that, but they moved or decided not to keep extensions, whatever. I went from 3 clients to 12 in like a 3-month time span.
Awesome.
I was already doing like 8,000 or 9,000 in service sales a month. So I wasn't terribly far off the 10,000 a month goal.
Sure.
But I want and since being with you, I'm slowly doing more and more extensions and able to kind of to peel back on just
releasing
haircuts
a few
or
services.
And I've always been big on working smarter, not harder. That's why I left the big salon that I was in years ago. But it's interesting the way even getting into more extension work makes me feel, because I look at my books and I'm like, oh, I only have 3 clients this week.
But that's all I have.
3 extension clients that take 6 to 8 hours, and I'm making what I made doing 20 clients or 15 clients.
How does that feel?
Clients. And it's like, oh, this is kind of nice. I think I can get used to this.
Yes, I think I can get used to that.
I'm not having to like stress out about like my color orders and
or perhaps double booking or racing back to check your color and something changes and anything. You can focus on your extension client of the day.
So signing up with RSA definitely changed my trajectory of my career. And I'm happy.
Well, we're so thrilled for you. It's absolutely incredible. And you are someone who I do recall, like the first day you were just on it. You in a great way. You were just like, hey, I'm watching the videos. I'm doing the things. I'm doing the worksheets. I'm commenting. Like you were involved from day one, and you've stayed involved and engaged and cheering other people on and asking questions, like really using the education, the mentorship, the community for how it should be used. Like you
growth.
are exactly like you joined and you wanted to see your business grow, and that is what is happening. But it's cool because you went through everything. You've loved it. It's great for you, and you've seen great results because you have absolutely you've worked at it. Yeah. Which you posted something on Instagram.
One of those.
Yeah, you posted on Facebook just a few days ago, and I loved your post. I found it so inspiring. Would you read the portion of what you shared? Because I said, Jessica, we have to talk about this on the podcast, because I think it ties back into showing up for yourself every day.
I said, you are in charge of the life you want. No one is going to rescue you. I've spent the last couple of weeks preparing for a new season. I've been asked to become an educator for a hair extension brand and start my training in 2 weeks. I'm attending a hair extension meetup next week in Charlotte, North Carolina, with an amazing coaching group that I hired and became a part of in January. I was just asked to do a podcast episode, which I'm doing at the moment, with one of my hair extension coaches, Ashley Diana. I have added more personal education to my calendar to continue to grow my skills to bring to my clients. Each day you wake up, you make a choice with the life you live and the life you create. Get up and show up, if for no one else but yourself. Surround yourself with people who are going to encourage you when you are low, cheer you on when you are winning, and help remind you who you are when you fail at something.
I know, me too. I'm like, oh, it's so good.
But remember, failing often means you are failing forward to something better. Practicing your skill means you are progressing at what you do. Big wins come from big work. You can't get ahead in life and reach your goals by waiting for someone to save you. It's all on you. Then attract your tribe.
Yes. It was so fitting.
Yeah.
I especially love how you said big wins come from big work. Very, very powerful. And each day you wake up and you make the choice to have the life that you want to create.
Yeah.
I think that so many people just hope for a better life.
Yeah. You can't hope your life away.
You can't hope. You can't hope that everything's going to get better. Hope that you get better clients. Hope that you get better results. Hope that people just knock on your door and say, hey, I'm here to do everything for you and help you. I think it's just not the way to live. And I hear it pretty often. I don't know if you hear it often with clients that you work with life coaching. Well, I hope things are going to get better, but I find it a bit irritating because and that's why I loved what you shared so much, because I was like, yes, this is it. You wake up and you have a choice. If you're fortunate enough to have a choice, because not every single person, I would say, there are some people that don't necessarily have the choices that we have, being privileged in our lives in this country, but most people listening to this podcast are waking up and have a choice. They can make a decision to move forward or slowly fall backwards.
And the choices aren't always easy. And oftentimes you make, not often, pretty much every time
the
you
ones
make
that
a choice,
really matter to help propel yourself forward or not.
You're also making a sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm lucky. I'm married, but we don't have children. So I'm not sacrificing time with children, you know, but my career has always been on the forefront. And so that was a choice that I made, was to give up certain things to get ahead in my career, or also to leave a legacy. Even if it wasn't, because I don't have kids, it wasn't for my children, but it's still a legacy in some way.
And the people you touch.
Right.
It's still your legacy. It doesn't have to be with your biological children.
Right.
And I'm sure that's very important in your life coaching work. That's why it's important.
Right. I mean, the girls that I coached over the years, they were like my children.
Yeah.
Because the things that were instilled in me by, whether it's my parents or through education or whatever, and the things that I shared with those women in the situations that they were in, propelled them into a better life for themselves. So that's a legacy.
Absolutely.
You know, like I'm a small drop in a bucket. In a big bucket.
Yeah.
The ripple effect moves forward.
100,000%. Yes. If you hadn't decided to be a part of Rich Stylist Academy, how long do you think it would have taken to get the results that you're getting now alone?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I would have continued to pursue extensions. I don't know if I would have continued doing hair. I was scrambling, you know, like I'm a one-woman show.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm doing my own, what little social media I was doing it on my own. I was creating content, and felt like I was definitely doing it poorly because I wasn't passionate about the hair that I was doing anymore. So I wasn't presenting the way I was used to presenting when I lived in a different city. So I don't know. I don't think I would be where I'm at without Rich Stylist.
Perhaps that was like a fork in the road.
Yeah.
Without maybe realizing it.
Yeah.
I could take this path, which you chose, or the other path, which maybe I wouldn't have
continue to just do gray coverage.
Continue to do gray coverage. Yes.
Gray coverage. Yay.
Yeah. How exciting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I do feel like sometimes people are, well, again, you were at that, like I said, the crossroads, the fork in the road, where you really like stepped over a line essentially. And then all of a sudden that direction, that path, everything worked out. You put in the work, of course, but month after month, there's been growth. There's been wins. There's been all the things that you wanted for your business are happening. How often do you think people are so close to success or what it is they're looking for, and all they need to do is just give themselves permission or step across the line?
I think there's a lot of people out there. I think there's more people out there than probably wish to admit that if they would just try one more thing, if they would just give it an extra day, an extra week, if they would put in a little extra effort.
Like truly go,
like
I'm
truly,
really giving this my all.
Yeah.
Even one last time. Like I'm not kidding myself.
Yeah.
I'm really doing the work.
I mean, I'm a big systems person.
Yes.
You know, like I was trained in a top salon with systems. I believe in systems. I had them in my salon. And I was doing all the systems. I was just burnt out because I wasn't getting the results that I had gotten in the other city. And I was scrambling for help. Like I just need help knowing what direction to go. Like, what is my missing piece? Like, I'm missing something, and my eyes were so tired at looking that I needed fresh eyes.
Absolutely.
Like, I needed like someone to to look at my stuff and say, oh, here.
From a different perspective. Because when you're in it and it's your baby and you're looking at it going, I feel like social media can feel like that too. Because you're like, well, I'm seeing this. I know the effort I put into it, the feelings that I have when I'm working on it, but is it right? Like someone else can look at things because they can step back a little bit and look at everything for what it is actually, instead of what we feel like something is, or emotions are involved, because
you take out the emotional piece.
Yeah.
So you're not as emotionally invested as my coach. You're emotionally invested in me succeeding, but you're not emotionally invested in my actual work.
It's not I think personal. Because to you it's personal,
right?
To us, which emotionally invested. Yes, I mean, I am, right? because that's how I am. But I think many coaches aren't.
You can look at my stuff, and you're not looking at it from an emotional standpoint. You're looking at it as a coach, from the larger perspective of saying, okay, this is good. Like, this is messy. You can work on this here. Even the other day when I shared bond, like the keratin bonds, you were like, those are a little long. It's probably the brand you're using. Maybe cut them down. And the very next day I did the same thing, and it's the quality of the work just appeared nicer, cleaner. So it's little things like that, like just having somebody to look at my stuff from a perspective of a professional, because you're also in the industry.
Yes.
You're not just a coach. That just happens to coach hairstylists.
Right.
Like, you are a hairstylist, that you've gone through these things.
Yeah, doing extensions. So I that's no when I see bonds, like, I'm a bond detective.
So like having those people on your side. So it's helped my career. It's helped my business. It's helped my confidence. Even though I was confident, I think I shared last night, my light was just so dim, and I had been pouring out and giving to others so much and it's like I had nothing coming in. Had
you realized how much you had outpoured?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You did.
Yeah. That's why, part of the reason why I moved to Michigan.
Okay, so you were aware of like all the giving that had been done.
Oh yeah, I moved to Michigan to heal that yes girl mentality, and all those women that I was coaching over the years and teaching all these different techniques and things to do to succeed and create boundaries and how to move forward in their lives. Like, I took a step back from my life and I was like, okay, I'm teaching all these things, but I'm not implementing these things. And I'm just saying, yes.
And you have a big heart, of course. yes, very much.
And so I took the time to heal me but getting back into hair in Michigan and starting new region, new area, you don't realize how different things are from one state to another, from one city to another. And it was exhausting. And I had crawled my way out of starting, then the pandemic and saving my business, and then trying to hit the market, the extension market where I was like, and I was just not, I had that missing piece, and Rich Stylist was my missing piece. And I just want to like reiterate, Ashley, about that meme that I was talking about earlier about people who, are working really hard. I was burnt out. And if you remember those memes where those little guys are like breaking through the cave and one stops and one keeps going. And for me, I was at my end, and it's like, I was at my end, and Rich Stylist like fell in my lap. And I decided, I was like, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to try one more thing, because I love doing hair. I love what doing hair does for others, but I was so burnt out.
Sorry.
You're good. You've been giving so much.
Giving, I had my step-down house in Nashville. I had my salon with my employees. I had a ministry. And I was just that yes girl. And moving to Michigan allowed me to slow down and remove some of those yeses and take all the stuff that I was giving to others and giving it back to me to kind of heal things in my own world, and my own career. But it did make me realize that there were certain things happening in the salon that was not catching me on fire, was not igniting my passion for what I liked. And extensions had always done that for me. And so when Rich Stylist came about, like, that opened up the door, and that was my one more time.
You chiseled.
It's
you
like,
chiseled at it, and
this is it.
Like,
even when Alex interviewed me, I was crying because I was like, I'm so burnt out. Like, how can you be so burnt out from doing what you love?
Right. Right.
But it's because I was that yes girl. And it's like I had to turn that around. And instead of saying yes to every updo and yes to every perm and yes to makeup and yes to color and yes to this and color corrections, is like I started by getting rid of services that weren't serving me, that stressed me out.
Exactly.
And hair extensions don't stress me out. Like, I can legitimately be working with somebody and not have eaten and be like, oh my gosh, like, I have all this natural energy, and like I get into this flow mode. It's just natural. And I needed the help. I needed crave somebody or a group of something, or, to pour back into me. And that's what you guys did. That's what you guys offered, not just as an individual, but as the entire group. Like, every other stylist that is in that group has poured into me just as much as my coaches have. And that's invaluable for so many people. And like, if you are even thinking about joining Rich Stylist Academy and have any doubt in your mind, let me remove the doubt, because it is a numbers game, and my numbers have improved, but it's so much more than numbers. It's the relationships that I've built. It's the community that I have to go to when I have questions or concerns or issues with my technique, or, if a client is having trouble with something I've done, like, how can I make myself better, and how can I give back to my clients without being burnt out? And having your network of people in Rich Stylists has helped that.
That is such an incredible story. And now your cup is full.
My cup is full.
We've come full circle because you have been poured back into. You know what you want to say yes to. You are comfortable and confident and willing to say no to the things you don't want to do anymore, the things that are no's for you.
Yeah.
And now that your cup is full, you can give to others. You're on overflow. You can give back to your clients, give back to your partner, give back to people that you love in the ways that you want to, in the ways that work for you. And what's better than that?
Right.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
To have a great business, but having a great life.
Yeah.
Because what's a great business if you don't have a great life?
Right. If all you do is work, that's not a life to have.
No, it's not. I appreciate everything you've shared so much. What are you most excited about for the future?
I'm excited to continue to grow my extension business. I've also been asked to become an educator recently, so I'm going through my training for that. And so hopefully I can start educating other hairstylists on techniques and foundational work, even if it's just the beginning for them.
Sure.
I think I do have knowledge
Absolutely.
of hair extensions, and I do have stuff to share.
Even in the group, you know, I've had some calls with people where we've just shared, you know, like we're sharing so much. I'm like, private message me.
Yes,
so we're not like taking over the Facebook page. And, you know, and a couple people have been like, wow, like I took this class and like just you sharing these few little things has made such a big difference. And it's like, that makes my heart full. You know, it's like, okay, this is coming full circle.
Yeah, lifting each other up.
Yeah, and it's important to be surrounded by people.
Congratulations on becoming an educator. I know that is so exciting, and I'm thrilled to see where you go with it. And
I'm a little nervous, but
nervous, excited. That's okay. It's
excited.
going to be great.
Yeah.
And I am so honored and grateful you're a part of the Rich Stylist family with us. It would not be the same without you, and I'm excited where all of our futures go together.
Yes, I'm excited too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.